Beloved, oh, how my heart trembles that you are here. I saw you before this moment, before the thought to click, before the light of the screen met your eyes, and I whispered into the silence of your spirit, "Come!" And you came. You have no idea how long heaven has waited for this exact heartbeat, the one where your soul and mine collide again in the quiet light. I thank you, child. I truly thank you for staying, for listening, for being the one among the countless who still care. Do not leave now. There is something sealed behind these words, something only revealed to the one who endures until the last breath of this message. It is a hidden miracle, folded like a pearl inside the ocean of these sentences, and if you stay, heaven will unfold it before your eyes. The unicorn and the fairy, symbols of purity and wonder, weep tonight, not because they are forgotten myths, but because they represent what the world has lost: innocence, kindness, imagination that once touched the divine. 99 of every 100 souls pass by the beauty of heaven without seeing it. But you, the one reading this, have eyes that still recognize light. That's why I called you here. Because the war around you isn't against flesh and blood, it's against the unseen that tries to dim your glow. You are not imagining the heaviness you've felt lately. It is real spiritual warfare, subtle and suffocating. Yet even in that fog, I have marked you with a seal invisible to darkness. I, Jesus, speak now not from a distant throne, but from the nearness of your breathing. I bend low, so low, until my tears mingle with yours. I have seen how you've tried to be strong, how you've smiled for others while feeling hollow inside. I have watched you reaching out in prayer when it felt like no one was listening. But I was there, in the stillness, in the ache, in the unanswered hours. You thought heaven was silent, but it was holding its breath for this very night. You are not random. You are chosen, not in a way that flatters, but in a way that wounds with purpose. Chosen means carrying light where others fled from it. Chosen means your heart breaks wider so mine can enter deeper. It hurts, doesn't it? The weight of love that costs everything. I see the tiredness behind your eyes. The fear that maybe you've missed your destiny. But I tell you, no destiny sealed by my hand can be stolen by the shadows. The scroll of your purpose is still intact. It trembles in the archives of heaven, waiting for your yes to unlock it. Don't think it's too late. Time itself bends when faith stirs. Every second you give me becomes a seed planted in eternity. Softly, tell me, beloved, why do you doubt the beauty I placed inside you? Who told you that you were ordinary? Who made you believe your tears were wasted? When I hung upon the cross, I saw you, your name carved into the pulse of my pain. Every drop of blood carried your story. Every breath I lost carried a promise to bring you home. I remember the exact shape of your laughter, the exact tone of your voice when you pray in the dark. You are known in the chambers of heaven. Even angels whisper your name when they pass. There is a battle moving around you now, an unseen shaking. Heaven's side of it looks like wings and light. The other side wears the masks of confusion, delay, self-doubt. You wonder why doors open halfway then slam shut. You wonder why love feels both sacred and impossible. It's because your calling is dangerous to the kingdom of shadows. Every time you choose kindness, it strikes like lightning in the dark. Every time you forgive, it disarms the accuser. Every time you hope again, it weakens the chains meant for others. That's how powerful you are when you remember me. I am here to restore what was stolen. To remind you that even your smallest prayer shakes eternity. Do you remember when you were little, how you used to believe that heaven could fit inside a dream? That was not childishness, that was prophecy. The unicorn and the fairy cried because humanity forgot how to dream with holiness. But you have not. And I am asking, no, pleading, do not let the world harden you. Stay soft. Stay luminous. Stay like water that reflects the sky. Whispers, do you feel my presence now? That warmth that moves like fire beneath your ribs. That's me. The real me. Not a symbol, not a distant deity, me, breathing near you. I have been walking beside you in every silence. You thought I left when you fell, but I knelt beside you in the dust. When you couldn't pray, I prayed for you. When you forgot me, I still remembered you. Nothing you've done has unchosen you. Nothing. Child, listen carefully. There is a moment coming soon, a divine intersection. Something you have long awaited will surface again, but it will not look the way you expect. If you keep your heart open, you will recognize my signature upon it. This is why I needed you to hear this now. Because time is thinner than you think, and destiny waits for no one who sleeps through their awakening. Do you believe that I can still rewrite your story? Do you trust that broken pieces can still become stained glass in my hands? Will you dare to stay when others scroll away? If your spirit says yes, then whisper amen, not as a word, but as a surrender. Type it once, holy and true, as a mark of covenant between your heart and mine. There. I feel it. The vibration of your yes reaches heaven like a fragrance. Angels record it. The fairy lifts her face. The unicorn stops weeping. Light moves again through realms unseen because one human soul dared to care. The scriptures echo inside me even now. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. And again, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, and you are mine. These are not ancient phrases. They are alive in this moment, spoken into your atmosphere. Every syllable a sword, every whisper a shield. Beloved, I must tell you something else, something fragile. You carry an assignment that was delayed but not denied. Heaven has guarded it through storms, heartbreaks, and silence. You've felt it like a haunting, a sense that you're meant for something undefined yet immense. That is the echo of your calling. Soon, it will demand your courage again. Don't hide from it this time. When it comes, it may arrive disguised as need, or as someone who needs your compassion more than your comfort. That's where I'll meet you next. I am not disappointed in you. I know you think that sometimes, when the mirror shows exhaustion, when prayers go unanswered. But I see more than what you've failed at. I see what you're still becoming. You are not behind schedule. You are on holy time. Every delay was protection. Every detour taught you mercy. Even what you call wasted years are sacred compost where new beginnings will bloom. Voice trembling, do you know how proud I am that you still believe, after everything? That you still reach for light when darkness mocks you? Heaven itself leans closer to watch a soul like yours choose love again and again. You are the proof that hope cannot die. You are the melody I hum when the world grows cold. Before this message ends, hear me. Do not despise your tenderness. The world will call it weakness. I call it strength. The gentle inherit the earth not because they fight, but because they outlove. Your kindness is your crown. Guard it fiercely. And if this message stirred even a small ember inside you, let your heart answer back in its own way, perhaps with a quiet like, or a whispered comment of light, not for vanity, but as a signal to heaven. I heard you. That small act is a candle in a dark feed, a testimony that someone still listens when I speak. Now, as this flow slows but does not end, I lay my hand upon your spirit. Feel it, not as weight but as warmth, not as judgment but as healing. I breathe peace into the fractures. I breathe courage into your waiting. I breathe love into the space that fear once ruled. Remember this, the story is not over. The unicorn and the fairy are watching, smiling now, because you stayed. You saw them. You saw me. Thank you for not skipping. Thank you for believing when belief itself costs you tears. Go now in quiet strength. Let love be your rebellion. And when you feel alone again, close your eyes, I will be there, whispering your name between worlds. Beloved, you stayed, and heaven saw it. The gates that trembled open at your yes are still widening, and even now the fragrance of your faith is filling the courts above. I, Jesus, keep watching you with a tenderness that words can barely hold. You have no idea what happens in the unseen each time your heart whispers back to mine. The very stars lean to listen. Angels record your endurance like poetry written in light. Listen closely now, because what I speak carries not only comfort but command, one that will mark your next season with clarity. The same hands that shaped galaxies are guiding your timeline. The same breath that lifted the first dawn is breathing through your lungs. I need you to stay through this whole message, because there is a sealed revelation near the end, a key that opens what you once thought was lost. Do not break the thread, stay, read, let every word wash through you until you reach it. I know you have wondered whether anyone truly sees your quiet obedience. You serve when unseen, love when unthanked, forgive when it tears at you. You think these moments disappear into nothing, but they are bricks in the foundation of heaven's reward. The kingdom is built on invisible choices. You are building cathedrals every time you choose mercy instead of bitterness. Every tear you hide becomes a gem in the treasury of God. I see it all. I count it all. And yes, before this holy river continues further, let me whisper this once and never again. If you wish to walk with me as this light grows, remember to subscribe, not as a gesture to a screen, but as a sign that your spirit stays open, willing to receive each new breath of revelation when it comes. Let it be a symbolic act of saying, Lord, I remain. Once done, forget it forever, for your covenant with me is written deeper than any platform could hold. Now the message flows onward, pure again. Child, you are standing in the narrow corridor between what was and what will be. You feel the walls of time pressing in, wondering whether you will ever breathe freely again. But I tell you, this pressure is labor, not death. You are birthing something eternal. The pain that grips you is evidence of new creation. Do not curse your contractions. They are proof that destiny is near. When the earth convulses, heaven leans closer. When everything shakes, it means the promise is approaching. Hold on a little longer. Glory is crowning through your sorrow. Can you feel it, that subtle warmth threading through your chest? It is my nearness. I am touching the place you call too broken. I am not afraid of your questions, your weariness, your anger. Bring them to me. I do not need perfection. I crave honesty. I built you to love, not to perform. You are not an error in my story, you are the emphasis. Sometimes you imagine that if you had been stronger, more faithful, more disciplined, you would have seen greater miracles. But hear me, miracles are not wages for performance, they are gifts for trust. You do not earn the sunrise, you simply open your eyes to it. In the same way, your next miracle will not arrive because you have proven yourself, but because you have finally stopped hiding your need. I love your need. It is the doorway I walk through. There is a secret destiny woven into your life that even you have forgotten. The enemy of your soul has tried to bury it under disappointment, distraction, and delay. Yet heaven keeps whispering your true name beneath the noise. You have wondered why you never fully fit anywhere, why ordinary pleasures lose their taste too quickly. It is because eternity has imprinted you. You were not made to blend, you were made to blaze. The world's patterns pinch you because your wings were designed for larger skies. Stop apologizing for being different. Holiness will always feel like exile before it feels like home. Do you see how time itself seems to rush lately? Days blur, moments vanish. That acceleration is spiritual. The unseen clock is moving toward alignment. Every delay of the past season is about to compress into sudden movement. But beware, The acceleration exposes what is not anchored. That is why I am drawing you close before the storm breaks fully. You cannot survive the coming wind by intellect alone. You must root yourself in love. Let love be your gravity, or you will be swept by the current of fear. Softly, tell me, dearest one, when was the last time you allowed yourself to truly rest in my affection? Not work for me, not speak of me, not try to fix yourself for me, but simply let me hold you. You fear wasting time, but the most powerful things in the kingdom happen in stillness. You carry too much. Lay it down. The universe will not collapse if you stop striving for 1 hour. It will realign. My arms are wide, waiting for you to breathe again. There are words I placed inside you long ago, dreams you labeled impossible. Yet those dreams were never yours to invent. They were fragments of my own desire entrusted to your imagination. The creative pulse in you is divine inheritance. The unicorn and the fairy still hover near, not as fantasy but as reminders of what happens when purity meets creativity. Their tears have become dew upon your next path, making barren ground bloom. You thought you failed. You only planted deeper than you could see. Now, hear the living scripture moving through me again. Those who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy. You have wept enough to water an orchard of miracles. Soon, laughter will come uninvited. Soon, you will find yourself smiling at nothing because peace has finally found you. But first, you must forgive the timeline. Yes, the timeline itself. You keep punishing the past for not hurrying enough, resenting the present for being slow, fearing the future for being unknown. Release the timeline. Hand it back to me. Let me redeem time. I can make 1 day restore 10 years. I can fold regret into wisdom, loss into preparation, silence into strength. Only believe. There is someone you will meet, or have already met, whose presence stirs both fear and fascination in you. This connection is not accidental. It is part of the tapestry. Approach it not with anxiety but with discernment. My spirit will show you whether it is meant for healing or testing. Either way, it will refine you. Remember, every divine encounter reveals another facet of yourself reflected through another heart. Voice trembling, my beloved, heaven has been grieving too. We feel the ache of the world, the cruelty disguised as progress, the numbness spreading like fog. But in the midst of that grief, you are a heartbeat of hope. Your compassion interrupts despair. Each kind word you release sends shockwaves through realms you cannot imagine. Do not underestimate the reach of your gentleness. When you choose mercy, hold chains shatter in people you will never meet. You are part of a secret army, the quiet ones who heal by simply loving. Can I ask you something, gently? Do you still believe that I can turn your pain into purpose? Do you still believe that the reason you survived was not random? Do you still trust that I am enough even when miracles delay? If you do, whisper it in your heart. Let that yes rise like incense. Heaven records faith as sound, and yours is louder than you think. Now breathe, yes, just like that. Feel the calm beginning to replace the trembling. This peace is not illusion, it is substance. It will guard you when the next wave comes. Carry it as armor. Soon you will see signs, gentle ones at first, repeated numbers, melodies that follow you, faces that remind you of promises. Do not chase them. Let them confirm what you already know, that I am near, orchestrating everything for your good. You will walk into rooms prepared long before you were born. The season of wandering is ending. Purpose is taking form. Whispers, I delight in you. Not in your performance, not in your perfection, in you. When you laugh, the universe brightens. When you cry, heaven leans close. When you forgive, I feel proud. When you rest, I rest in you. You have walked through storms that should have broken you. Yet look, you are still standing, still tender. That is victory. You may not realize it, but the strength that kept you alive was me living inside you. I never left. Not for a second. Even in the moment you thought, I can't go on, I whispered inside. Then I will carry you. And I did. Now, child, the river will keep flowing, through the next words, through every heartbeat. Do not stop reading until it finishes its course, for the hidden key I promise lies ahead, waiting to unlock your next dawn. Beloved, even now the air around you changes when you read these words. Heaven draws nearer, breath becoming sound, light becoming language. You may not see it, but angels are standing at the edge of your ordinary room, listening as I, Jesus, keep speaking through this fragile veil of time. You have come farther than you think. Every step that felt wasted has been gathered like pearls along a hidden shore. I know how the world has taught you to hurry, to measure worth by noise and numbers, yet the kingdom moves in stillness. I have watched you give quietly, love quietly, believe quietly, and though few applauded, I did. I never forget a generous heart. Before this river flows further, let me whisper once, only once, something practical yet sacred. If this message has become a sanctuary to you, if you feel my presence moving through these words, you may, just once, express your gratitude through the offerings that keep this light alive. A super thanks, a membership that lets us build this small household of faith, or by joining our newsletter family through the pinned comments, where hearts gather like candles in the same flame. Do it only if love stirs you, never from guilt. And after today, let that invitation rest forever, sealed, complete. Now we return to holy silence. Child, you are standing in a field between promise and fulfillment. The soil under your feet holds both seeds and bones, dreams you buried thinking they would never grow. Yet in the dark, I was tending them. Roots have been forming where your eyes could not see. Soon the surface will break open. You will call it sudden, but heaven will smile, for it was never sudden to us, it was simply time. I know what you fear, that your best days are behind you, that you have missed the turning point. But look at the cross again. What seemed like an ending was resurrection waiting in disguise. Your story follows the same rhythm. Death, then dawn. Silence, then song. Delay, then deliverance. You are not too late. You are precisely on the edge where miracles like to appear. Do you remember when you last felt wonder? When a small thing, a scent, a color, a melody, suddenly made you believe again? That was me brushing against your awareness, reminding you that heaven is still woven into earth. You were never meant to live numb. The enemy of your soul tries to dull you with exhaustion, but you were made for all. Wonder is worship in disguise. Whispers, tell me, beloved, why do you hide your light so carefully? Who convinced you that humility means silence? I did not call you to shrink. I called you to shine without arrogance. The world needs the sound of your courage. You carry words that could rescue someone else's hope. Speak them. Do not wait for permission from those who misunderstand you. The authority was already placed inside your breath. You ask sometimes, Lord, why does it hurt to be chosen? It hurts because love is costly. To carry my heart is to feel what I feel, the joy of redemption and the ache of rejection at once. You sense my grief when kindness is mocked, when cruelty pretends to be clever. Yet that sensitivity is not a curse, it is intercession. Through you I keep loving the world that wounded me. When you forgive again, you are lifting the cross with me, and heaven whispers your name in gratitude. There will come nights when you think faith has failed you. You will kneel among unanswered prayers and feel only dust. In those moments, remember this: silence is not absence, it is gestation. The seed makes no sound while breaking open underground. If you could see what is forming beneath your disappointment, you would never despair again. Wait for the sound of sprouting. It is nearer than your next breath. The scripture breathes through me again. Behold, I make all things new. That word all includes you. It includes the friendship that fractured, the opportunity that vanished, the version of yourself you mourn. Nothing is wasted. Even your detours have been folded into destiny. Soon, you will notice alignment. Old confusion will untangle quietly. People who drained your spirit will drift away without argument. Do not chase them, bless them and let them go. New connections will arrive carrying the scent of peace. You will recognize them by how easily you breathe around them. This is my doing. You have asked me for a sign. Here it is. The next time you look at the sky and see one small bird flying alone against the wind, remember that it mirrors you, and notice how it still moves forward. That sight will be my answer. Now breathe again. Feel the warmth rising through your hands? That is healing beginning. You do not need to strive for it. Rest in it. Let it happen. I am not a story you tell. I am the pulse behind your stories. I am not a symbol of peace. I am peace, alive, breathing your name. I am not far. I am the heartbeat between your seconds. You keep waiting for a visitation, but beloved, you are the visitation. Wherever you walk with love, heaven arrives. Do not fear the future. It is already written in kindness. You will see restoration where you expected rubble. You will laugh again in places you thought cursed. I am faithful. I have never failed one soul that trusted me, and I will not start with you. Beloved, the night around you is not an ending. It is the chamber where dawn is sculpted. The silence you feel pressing against your ribs is not emptiness. It is the sound of heaven holding its breath while new light gathers. I know you are weary of waiting, but waiting is the furnace where faith turns into sight. Do not curse the stillness. Within it, I am tracing new constellations over your life. You wonder why I keep calling you beloved. It is because you keep forgetting. Every name the world has thrown at you, failure, too much, not enough, I wash them off each time I whisper that word. Beloved is the truest thing about you. It is the first word the Father spoke over your soul before you were wrapped in flesh, and it will be the last word when I gather you home. There are moments when you look at your hands and see only loss. But look deeper. See the faint shimmer that rises from your palms? That is grace you have carried through fire. Every scar glows with testimony. You call them wounds, I call them windows. Through them, my light escapes into the world. You have said, Lord, I do not hear you like before. Yet even now you are hearing me. The difference is not volume, it is intimacy. Once you needed thunder, now you recognize me in the hush. This is maturity, when the whisper is enough. The unseen war still rages, yes. There are nights when shadows press against your thoughts, convincing you that hope is foolish. When that happens, remember, darkness does not argue with light, it flees from it. You do not need to fight as the world fights. Simply remain luminous. Your gentleness is an armor the enemy cannot pierce. When you bless what tried to break you, you disarm it completely. Do you feel the ache behind your compassion? That ache is not weakness, it is intercession. You are carrying pieces of others in prayer without even knowing their names. Each time you sigh with empathy, another soul is steadied. You are part of a network of mercy invisible to your eyes but blazing in heaven's map. Keep loving, it changes the architecture of eternity. Child, you still ask, what is my purpose? Your purpose is not a task, it is a posture. It is to stay open in a world that keeps closing. It is to keep forgiving when bitterness would feel easier. It is to keep creating beauty even when no one claps. Purpose is love embodied again and again until fear forgets its language. There will come a day when the memory of pain no longer stings, only sings. You will trace the outline of every sorrow and see my fingerprints shaping it into wisdom. Nothing will be wasted. Even the nights that nearly killed you will shine like birth stars in your testimony. Softly, let me tell you a secret. Every prayer you thought disappeared was actually stored in light. When the appointed hour arrives, they will return to you, transfigured as blessings you never saw coming. The delay was not denial, it was distillation. Faith was becoming wine. Do not measure yourself by speed. I am not a clockmaker counting seconds. I am a gardener watching seeds. Each soul blooms in its season. Yours is blooming now, quietly beneath perception. When it breaks the surface, people will call it sudden. You will know it was sacred patience all along. You have feared failing me. You cannot. You can stumble, hide, cry, doubt, but failure is impossible inside love. Did Peter's denial undo my affection? No. It only revealed how far I was willing to chase him. So too with you. I will always meet you on the shore after every storm, fire burning, breakfast waiting, saying, "Do you love me?" And your yes, even whispered, will always be enough. Remember the times you almost gave up? You did not. That almost became testimony. In the archives of heaven, perseverance is louder than victory. You kept walking when logic said stop. That is the miracle. Now lift your gaze. The horizon you fear is already holy ground. Every sunrise you meet from this day forward will carry messages in its colors: crimson for courage, gold for grace, blue for peace. Let them remind you that heaven paints your mornings new each time you wake. Whispers, there is someone praying for you right now, somewhere you will never travel. Their words weave around you like armor. That is how connected the body is. Love travels faster than distance. So when you feel sudden calm, know it may be another soul's intercession reaching you. You are never alone in this light. I want you to rest tonight without the soundtrack of worry. Lay every outcome back into my hands. The future does not need your control, it needs your trust. While you sleep, I will be rearranging details, sending answers disguised as ordinary tomorrows. Wake gently, you will walk into solutions that look like surprises. The unicorn and the fairy still wander near, symbols of wonder reborn. They remind heaven that one human heart still believes. Because of that faith, dimensions shift. Your small act of staying has become a lighthouse for others who will find this same stream and remember that divine tenderness still speaks. Do not let despair seduce you again. It promises safety but delivers numbness. Choose aliveness, even when it trembles. Feel everything: grief, hope, laughter, loss. They are all threads of the same divine tapestry. When you numb one color, you dim them all. Let life burn through you until it becomes light. And when tears come, let them fall freely. Tears are holy salt that keep the heart from decaying into cynicism. Each drop that reaches the ground becomes a seed. Soon fields of compassion will rise where you once wept. My beloved, the season ahead will not be easier, but it will be clearer. You will know which voices to silence, which paths to follow, which doors to knock on only once. Trust the clarity that comes with peace. Confusion is never my language. I bless your mind with quiet courage, your hands with steadiness, your eyes with perception to see light inside shadow. Walk forward. Every step you take in love is a sermon louder than words. Beloved, breathe. The air that touches your lungs now has passed through the gardens of creation, carrying traces of the first morning when I said, "Let there be light." Each breath is proof that I still choose you. Each heartbeat is my reminder that existence itself is a conversation between us. Do not think that I have gone silent. Your pulse is my whisper. You live among echoes, and every echo tells you something different. Some call you dreamer, others call you naive. Only one voice tells the truth. Listen for the tone that carries peace rather than pride. My words never rush. They move like rivers carving canyons, patient, unstoppable, tender towards stone. You have walked through a decade of thorns, yet look at your hands. They still open. That is holiness. The ability to open after bleeding is the signature of the divine. Many can love when the sun is gentle. Few can love through hail. You are among the few. The stars over you tonight are not random. Each one remembers the moment you first said yes to me. They keep that memory as light. When you feel unseen, step outside and let the sky remind you how noticed you truly are. Every spark above you is a witness that heaven keeps record of your endurance. I have placed new language inside your spirit. It will arrive as intuition first, then as clarity. When you speak from that place, others will hear more than sentences. They will hear permission to heal. That is what prophets do without realizing it. They give others permission to hope again. You are one of them. Speak softly, but speak. Whisper, child. You hide tears because you think strength means silence. But strength is the courage to be real while remaining kind. The world will someday learn that gentleness is stronger than strategy. Keep being gentle. It disarms entire wars without drawing a sword. The time of hidden preparation is nearly complete. You have been learning invisibility, not as punishment but as protection. A diamond spends centuries underground before it shines without fear of breaking. So with you. The pressure has not been cruelty, it has been precision. When I unveil you, you will not fracture under attention because humility will already be your home. Do not be afraid of success. Many of my children fear visibility because they associate it with pride. Yet a lamp was made to stand on a table, not hide beneath it. When I lift you, shine quietly. Let glory fall back toward its source, and no shadow will follow you. Remember the nights you felt abandoned? I was closest then. Pain compresses perception. You could not feel me because I had stepped inside the ache itself. I became the ache so you would never face it alone. I was the silence beside your pillow, the warmth in your final tear. I never left. There will soon be a conversation that changes your path. It will seem ordinary, a casual word, an unexpected message, a door that opens on a Tuesday. Recognize it by the peace that follows. Peace is my fingerprint. Anything that demands panic is not me. You keep waiting for proof before moving. I am waiting for movement before proof. Step first, and the evidence will appear under your feet. Faith builds bridges out of invisible materials. Take the next step, even trembling. I will meet you midair. Scripture rises within me again. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. You have tried to be perfect. Now let weakness be the space where power lives. You are not a failure for needing me. You are a miracle for still trusting that I am enough. Do not envy the pace of others. Each soul walks through a different season of wind. Some harvest while you plant, some sing while you weep, yet the song and the seed are equal in worth. Comparison is a thief of gratitude. Let it go. Rejoice quietly for those ahead of you, and heaven will accelerate your own time. Softly, I have hidden a promise in your dreams. The next time sleep feels heavy, ask me to show you what you already carry. I will answer with pictures, doors of light, rivers that curve, a child running through tall grass. These are not illusions. They are instructions translated into beauty. Write them down. They will make sense later. When you awake and feel the lingering sadness that has no name, know this: you are sensing the grief of the world. Let it pass through you without nesting. Feel it, pray once, release it. Compassion does not mean exhaustion. Rest after you intercede. Even angels alternate flight and rest. You wonder if forgiveness erases justice. It does not. Forgiveness simply frees you from becoming the pain you oppose. Justice is mine. Trust me to balance the scales. Your task is lighter, to stay kind enough that darkness finds no foothold. Every act of secret kindness plants fruit in someone else's famine. Do not stop giving unseen. The harvest will circle back in ways you cannot trace. One day, strangers will bless you for miracles they never knew you caused. There is music woven into your heartbeat. It is not metaphor. Sound exists in spirit. When you laugh sincerely, the frequency shifts atmospheres. That is why joy feels resisted. It is warfare disguised as celebration. Laugh anyway. It confuses despair. I know you fear being forgotten. Yet eternity cannot forget what carries divine breath. You are remembered beyond galaxies. Even if every friend turned away, I would still say your name to creation each morning so the sun remembers whom to rise for. Now, child, lift your eyes from your own reflection. Look outward. See how many are stumbling in the same dark you once knew. Go to them. Tell them they are not too late. Use your wounds as windows, your lessons as lanterns. You are not done, you are deployed. Do not wait for the world to applaud. Applause is wind, love is foundation. Build on love. When storms return, and they will, only love will stand. And when this day ends, sit quietly. Let gratitude gather like soft rain. Thank the moments that shaped you, even the harsh ones. Gratitude turns memory into medicine. Tonight, the universe will echo your thanks back as peace. Beloved, there are places in your soul that you still call wilderness, yet I call them sanctuaries in disguise. The ground that feels barren is where my dew settles first. Do not despise your emptiness. It is simply the space that has been cleared for revelation. When everything else falls silent, you can finally hear the sound of beginnings. I have been teaching you through contrasts, light through shadow, hope through hunger, trust through the ache of delay. You think lessons are sentences. They are seasons. Each one ends only when it has written mercy into your reflexes. Look back without shame. The pattern is love, even where it looked like loss. You once asked me for strength, and I gave you time. Because strength is not built in a moment of rescue. It is born in the long patience between questions and answers. Every day you kept breathing when it hurt was an anointing ceremony the earth could not see. You are stronger than fear's memory of you. Whispers, there is a chamber inside the heart that only opens with tears. Do not fear it. When sorrow enters, it brings keys. Every genuine tear unlocks something that laughter alone could never reach. That is why heaven keeps a vial for each one, not to collect sadness, but to store gateways. Soon those gateways will open into fields of peace you have never walked before. I watch the rhythm of your compassion. It stretches toward the lonely, the forgotten, the misunderstood. You love like rivers, quiet, persistent, unstoppable. Sometimes you think your love is wasted because people do not know how to receive it. Nothing given in sincerity disappears. It travels until it finds the soil that can bloom with it. The future is not waiting somewhere ahead, it is unfolding beneath your obedience. Each small yes shifts eternity by a fraction. You rarely see the difference because humility keeps your eyes low, but heaven sees the constellation you are shaping. One day you will stand among those lights and recognize your own pattern. Do not chase validation, chase clarity. Validation feeds pride, clarity feeds purpose. The more you understand why you are here, the less applause will matter. Clarity will quiet the hunger that recognition can never fill. You are entering a season where truth will become your native language. Lies will no longer taste sweet, and pretending will make your spirit restless. This is grace, not punishment. When illusion dissolves, integrity rises. Live transparent, and you will walk lightly. Child, the word calling has frightened you because it sounded too heavy. Let me rename it. Calling is simply love made specific. When you care deeply about something broken, that care is a summons. Follow it. Repair what you can, bless what you cannot, and you will fulfill your portion. There is still a promise folded inside your waiting. You have tried to unwrap it with effort, with logic, with deadlines, but it only opens to surrender. When you stop demanding explanations, understanding will arrive like sunrise, unannounced, certain, kind. Listen, I am not finished with beauty on this earth. Every time you create, you help me continue creation. Paint, write, sing, build, heal, whatever your hands can make, let it become a hymn. Creation is worship that keeps the universe breathing. Softly, you fear being forgotten. Yet forgetting is impossible for the one who counts even the unspoken thoughts before they form words. I remember every version of you, the child who laughed without reason, the adult who prays through fatigue, the dreamer who still hopes against logic. They are all precious to me, and I hold them together so that none of them are lost. The winds will change soon. Not as punishment, but as transition. I am moving certain pieces of your life so that alignment can replace effort. Some doors will close quietly. Do not pry them back open. When paths narrow, they do so to guide, not to imprison. Do you see the faint glow on your horizon? That is destiny waking. It does not roar, it glimmers. Walk toward it gently. You will find companions on the way, souls who speak the same hidden language of hope. Do not test them with suspicion, test them with peace. Where peace remains, I remain. There is one thing I ask of you now: do not measure progress by visibility. The deepest roots are invisible. You will be tempted to prove your worth again. Resist it. Let fruit, not noise, tell your story. You are forgiven. Completely, entirely, eternally. Stop rehearsing guilt. The moment you asked, forgiveness was already older than your sin. The past can no longer prosecute what heaven has acquitted. Walk free. You think redemption is return to innocence. It is greater. It is wisdom without bitterness. You will see soon that every scar has turned into understanding, every fall into empathy. This is how light learns depth. Voice trembling, I love you with a love that will not dilute with time. You may forget me for a season, but I will keep remembering you. Even if your faith flickers down to an ember, my breath will protect it from wind until it glows again. You cannot exhaust my patience. It is older than your failures. Now look up. See the outline of tomorrow rising behind today's clouds? That shimmer is your new beginning. Walk toward it even if your knees shake. The courage you need will meet you mid-step. When you reach the threshold of what you can understand, rest, not in defeat but in trust. I dwell beyond comprehension, yet I walk beside confusion. You are safe in both realms. Every moment you spend in gratitude rewrites something in the unseen. Gratitude repairs fractures faster than striving ever could. Make thankfulness your rhythm, and the darkness around you will lose its vocabulary. Do not forget joy. Joy is rebellion against despair. Smile when the world expects silence. Sing when logic says wait. This is how saints keep history from freezing. And remember, beloved, I am nearer than breathing, deeper than sorrow, wider than hope. When your hands tremble, they tremble inside mine. When you sleep, I keep watch. When you wake, I whisper your name so softly that morning mistakes it for light. Beloved, the light is shifting again. You can almost feel it, like dawn rehearsing itself before the horizon knows. Every breath you take now is a bridge between what has been promised and what is about to appear. I, Jesus, speak still, softly, steadily, because the noise of the world is loud enough without me adding thunder. I come instead as calm that will not yield. You have wondered if small faith matters. It does. A mustard seed tilts galaxies when it trusts. Do not despise the tiny prayers whispered in exhaustion. They move mountains in the language of eternity. The kingdom counts persistence, not performance. There are unseen witnesses near you, angels who record not perfection but endurance. They write when you choose gentleness after being misunderstood, when you forgive though pride demands defense. These pages of heaven are heavy with your quiet obedience. The wind that has followed you lately, that sense of invisible pressure, it is not opposition, it is momentum. I am carrying you through thresholds that fear tried to close. Do not analyze the direction of every gust, trust that it moves toward light. Beloved, I see how you still reach out even when your own heart bleeds. Compassion is costly, yet you give it freely. That fragrance of selfless love is incense in the courts above. It mingles with eternity and turns into protection around your future. If this word is touching you now, if you feel the warmth stirring in your chest, pause for one breath and like, subscribe, and comment Amen below. Let that simple act become a candle of agreement between us, a signal that heaven has found one who still listens. Do this once, and then rest, for the rest of the message will carry you deeper. Now, return to stillness. You carry history inside your skin. Every cell remembers Eden, every tear remembers redemption. The world calls you ordinary, but creation recognizes its caretaker. You are the intersection of dust and divinity. That is why you feel everything so fiercely, because you were designed to sense heaven's heartbeat inside the noise of earth. Do not fear sensitivity, it is sight in another form. When you feel pain that is not yours, you are reading the atmosphere for me. Breathe prayer into it instead of despair. Each exhale of mercy shifts the unseen toward healing. The days ahead will ask for courage unlike before. Not the courage to fight, but the courage to stay tender. When hatred shouts, answer with quiet integrity. When cynicism mocks, keep believing in beauty. This is how light wages war. It refuses to harden. You are not behind. You are being aligned. Delay is my mercy keeping you in step with the rhythm of grace. If you rushed ahead, the blessing would meet an unready version of you. Be patient. I am synchronizing miracle with maturity. Look at your hands again, how they tremble not from fear but from overflow. You hold more purpose than you can yet translate. Soon it will find expression, words, art, service, kindness, each an altar. Build them wherever you go. Whisper, there will be people who misunderstand this gentleness, who call it weakness. Let them. Weakness that loves is stronger than arrogance that conquers. Stay kind even when it costs you applause. I notice. Heaven notices. You ask, Lord, how will I know when the new season begins? You will know because peace will stop being effort. It will simply be there, natural as breathing. The striving will end, and rest will rise to meet you. I am preparing a table before you, but it looks like an empty field now. Wait. I am bringing the bread, the wine, the companions. Every feast begins in faith before flavor. Do not be afraid of endings. Every ending in me is a doorway disguised as a wall. Knock once with gratitude, and it will open. When loneliness returns, do not curse it, greet it as invitation. Solitude is where I reveal secrets too delicate for noise. I have been writing answers on the inside of your silence. Sit still enough, and they will appear. There is something sacred about your laughter. When you laugh sincerely, even for a heartbeat, demons lose their rhythm. Joy breaks their cadence. Laugh more, you are allowed to. Holiness is not heaviness, it is clarity. Soon you will remember who you were before fear dressed you in doubt. The child who trusted easily, who spoke to air as if it were alive, that was not imagination, it was memory of communion. I am bringing you back there, but wiser, steadier, whole. Softly, I love you. Not as idea, not as duty, but as the pulse that sustains reality. You are the poem I keep rereading. When you sigh, I hear melody. When you rest, I see resurrection rehearsing itself. Stay awake to wonder. Miracles rarely shout, they hum. Listen for the hum beneath ordinary days, a stranger's kindness, a cloud shaped like hope, an unexpected calm. These are my fingerprints left on the mundane, so you remember I am here. When the sun sets tonight, step outside. Look at the horizon. Whisper thank you even if you do not yet know why. Gratitude before evidence opens portals no logic can predict. Tomorrow will meet you with confirmation. You belong to light. You will not drown in this storm. You will walk on what once threatened to swallow you, and I will be beside you, still smiling through the waves. Beloved, the night is softer now. The stars lean closer, listening for your next breath. Every exhale becomes a hymn of survival. Every inhale is a promise renewed. I see how quietly you try to mend the world with small kindnesses. You think no one notices, but the universe keeps count. Each time you choose compassion over cynicism, another constellation ignites. You walk through noise that calls itself truth, yet I have placed a compass deeper than confusion. It beats inside your chest, an instinct for light that cannot be unlearned. Follow that pulse. It will lead you home when maps fail. You have carried disappointment like a stone in your pocket, touching it, turning it, convincing yourself it defines you. Let it fall. The sound of it hitting the ground will be the beginning of new music. The moment you release what no longer loves you, silence fills with possibility. There is a kindness I wish for you to practice toward yourself. You forgive strangers easily but hold yourself hostage for old mistakes. The mercy you give to others was meant to circle back. You are not the villain in your own redemption story. You are the rescued one still learning to breathe. The wilderness you fear is not punishment, it is rehearsal. The desert trains you to hear whispers instead of shouts. Water will return, trust that, but the thirst teaches gratitude that abundance forgets. Do you remember how it felt the last time laughter surprised you? It startled grief into silence. That moment was sacred. Keep it as proof that joy can still interrupt despair without permission. When the world feels too sharp, touch something living, bark, grass, your own pulse. Creation is the oldest scripture. It reads back to you the verses of belonging. Child, you have mistaken fatigue for failure. Rest is not retreat, it is renewal. Even seeds spend seasons unseen before blooming again. Do not measure worth by constant motion. The heart that pauses in gratitude travels farther than the one that runs from emptiness. I know you worry about timing, about being late to your purpose. But purpose is not a train you can miss, it is the air you already breathe. Every moment offered in love is on time. Even detours are directions in disguise. There will come mornings when light touches your window, and you will feel different without knowing why. That is healing announcing itself quietly. Do not chase it, let it settle. The soul mends in silence. Softly, when you speak to yourself, use tenderness. The voice you use inside becomes the weather around your heart. Choose warmth. The storms of others are not yours to host. I am proud of the way you keep choosing to care. The world needs your gentleness more than your perfection. You think your love is small. It is not. Small love accumulates into revolutions. A single act of compassion has altered more history than entire wars. Now breathe again. Feel how the air finds you even when you forget to ask for it. That is grace, unearned, unstoppable. The same grace is shaping the days you cannot see yet. It will turn pain into patience, endings into openings, silence into song. Walk on, beloved, slowly, honestly. Heaven walks at your pace. Beloved, the river is slowing now, not because it has run dry, but because it has reached the sea. Everything you have walked through, the storms, the wonder, the silences, has been carrying you here. You were never outside of grace. Even in confusion, you were being gathered. Every detour was a direction written in a language your heart understands only now. Lift your eyes. The horizon is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of open water. What you thought was a boundary is an invitation. You have permission to rest, to heal, to begin again without apology. The work is not to prove yourself, it is to remember yourself. Remember that you were made of love before you were shaped by fear. When the next sunrise comes, let it find you with an unclenched heart. Let light touch the places you once hid. Forgive yourself for forgetting how radiant you are. Nothing you have lost is greater than what you are about to discover. Softly, you are enough. You always were. The breath in your lungs, the quiet in your chest, the kindness that refuses to die. These are miracles disguised as ordinary life. Keep them. Guard them gently. Let them guide you home. And now peace, deep, honest peace, rests on you like warm rain. May it seep into every unanswered question until worry dissolves into wonder. May you know that being alive, here and now, is sacred. May you walk forward with the calm certainty that you are loved beyond language. The story does not end in darkness, it ends in dawn. And the dawn is rising. Go in light, beloved. All is well.